Happy October, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to October 1st's live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Fire Your MD Now. Now, the MDs are trying to convince us, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month after all, that mammograms are a good thing, that cancer is genetic, that there's all of this stuff happening with breast cancer because of a bad gene that you have, and it's nonsense. You can look it up at Wikipedia right now. Just go to Wikipedia and check it out. It says right there that the BRCA gene that is in fact associated with the occurrence of breast cancer is a mutated gene. It's a mutation to a gene. Now, can somebody please answer me the question, how does a mutated gene get transmitted from person to person? If it's mutated, it doesn't transmit. This is the field of epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of genetic material which becomes damaged from different things, like radiation exposure, like exposure to nasty toxic chemicals in the world, so forth and so on. So you're born with a healthy set of chromosomes if you're born healthy, if your mother is nutrified, and if you got lucky. And then your body is acted upon by the stress of life, and if you are exposed to too much stress of life, and if your body does not have the raw materials necessary to protect itself against the stress of life, then things in the body are going to start to break down. One of the things that's going to start to break down is your genetic material. Selenium deficiencies. We believe that selenium deficiencies are the cause of the mutation of the BRCA gene. That selenium deficiencies are the cause of the mutation of the BRCA gene. This is a presumptive extrapolation of clinical evidence and just good old-fashioned street smarts. It is, after all, called the practice of medicine for a reason. That we've accumulated over decades and decades of clinical experience. Cystic fibrosis was proven to be damage to a chromosome caused by a selenium deficiency, but the damage to that chromosome occurred in the blood of the pregnant mother. It occurred during fetal development. It's a birth defect. That the gene that codes for healthy lung function becomes damaged because of lack of selenium, and because the gene is damaged, it doesn't express itself. Now, there's a great deal of difference between a damaged gene and a gene. There's a great deal of difference between a damaged chromosome and a genetic flaw that you inherit. You can't inherit a damaged chromosome, for goodness sake. This is where the field of epigenetics has a great deal of hope for humanity, but I really don't think that it's going to go anywhere, because in 1970, the mid-70s, when Dr. Wallach discovered that cystic fibrosis was caused by a damage to a chromosome from selenium deficiency, they fired him. And they blackballed his research. And the National Institute of Health sent a memo to all medical universities in the U.S. that if you hire Dr. Wallach, we're going to pull your funding, because there ain't no money in epigenetics. There ain't no money in selenium. You know, if it's selenium that caused the breakdown in the gene, the damage to the chromosome that caused cystic fibrosis, or that causes the expression of the BRCA gene, the manifestation of the BRCA component. It's not a gene. I should stop calling it a BRCA gene. It's a mutation, the BRCA mutation. If it is, in fact, the deficiency in selenium that causes the BRCA mutation, then the pharmaceutical industry is screwed, because you cannot patent selenium. It's a naturally occurring substance. This is why, even though it's been proven with thousands of clinical studies that selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. It reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. Even though that's been proven, even though Youngevity secured a qualified health claim so that we can say this without being thrown in jail by the Food and Drug Administration, which should make your eyebrows raise. Even though we know that this is in fact the case, how much time and money has been given to the treatment or the prevention of cancer with selenium? None. Because there ain't no money in it. Why is this the first time you've heard this? Why is going to one of my lectures or listening to one of my CDs or tuning into one of my webinars the first time that you've heard this? What would happen if the Pfizer Pharmaceutical developed a drug, a synthetic man-made drug that eliminated the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%? Whoever discovered that would get the Nobel Prize. And they'd be lauded as the next great Albert Schweitzer, the next great Linus Pauling, the next great, the Albert Einstein of medicine. Oh, my God. Women everywhere, they'd be T-shirts. Women would be wearing T-shirts with this guy or this woman's picture right on it, and they'd be deified. But Dr. Wallach discovers it and gets a quote, doesn't discover the breast cancer thing, discovered the cystic fibrosis thing, and he gets thrown under the bus. And the world moves forward for lack of knowledge, suffering needlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to collectively pick your heads up out of the sand. One of these days you're going to wake up, and all of the things that I'm talking about are going to come crashing in on you. They're going to become glaringly obvious that this is in fact what's going on. That the reason that we're sick and suffering is because we've taken the wrong medical doctor into our employ. We've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. We went to the wrong medical professional. Your medical doctor doesn't know what's best for you. Your medical doctor only knows what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in is just one small piece of the pie of medical science. And it's really great for trauma. It's really great for infectious diseases. It's really great for surgery when surgery is necessary. But that's all that it's good for. For chronic disease, it's horrible. It just doesn't work, number one. Number two, it doesn't work. And number three, it doesn't work. One of these days, it's all going to come crashing home to you that son of a gun, the MDs don't know what's best for us. The MDs only know what they've been trained in, and this is a gigantic problem. Now, what we bring to the table, of course, is science-based, clinically verified alternatives to all of this nonsense. Science-based, clinically verified alternatives to all of this nonsense. We talk about this all of the time because we are under two great illusions in this country. Number one, that the MD is the undisputed king, owner, and emperor of medicine, and everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack. And number two, healing is a complicated, sophisticated, arcane, esoteric phenomenon that is only in the purview of the man or the woman in the white coat with an MD after their name. Surgery is complicated, ladies and gentlemen. Healing is easy. It is as easy as breathing. And we're going to go to Ohio right now and talk to Don about something that's going on with him in the Osteo FX powder. Hey, Don, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. This is actually, it's for my dad, and what it was is he's taking the longevity because he has problems with his bones, and I just got him to start taking it, and my mom is already taking it, and he started taking the Osteo FX powder, and he had 13 inches of his colon removed earlier through diverticulitis, and he is having trouble tolerating the Osteo FX because it's making him run to the restroom quite a bit. And he's taking 3 scoops at one time because he weighs about 270 pounds. And I was wondering if there might be what you would recommend, like different dosaging, or you should maybe take it interspaced out, the different scoops, or, what you think.
Well, you tell me what you think, because remember, this is about educating the public, and it's not rocket science. So I'm pretty sure you already know the answer, but I'd be interested to hear your thought process on this. So tell me, if I were to call you up and ask you the same question, what would your answer be?
I I would say, well, why don't you go and try to space out the amount of scoops instead of taking them all at once? And like maybe take one in the morning, take another one in mid-afternoon, and then maybe take another one around like 8 o'clock or something at night.
Yeah, that's correct. Exactly correct. Makes you the smartest man in class. See, it's not hard, is it? Now, there's another piece to this, however, right? Because sometimes it's, 3 scoops is too much, whereas, 1 would have been better. And sometimes it's also the amount of stuff that you are diluting it with. So, if you're putting 3 scoops into 4 ounces of water, well, maybe that's too concentrated. Maybe 3 scoops in 12 or 24 ounces of water would be a better idea. But it's better to spread the doses out anyway, because it gives your body more of a chance of assimilating it. And when anybody's had this much trouble with their digestive tract as this fella has, the problem here is one of assimilation, because, everything's connected down there. And when there's trouble in the North Pole, there's trouble in the South Pole, and, there's going to be a problem with assimilation here. So, taking 1 scoop 3 times a day is a great idea. If that still becomes a problem, then take half a scoop 6 times a day. Or put, 1 scoop in 8 ounces of water instead of 1 scoop in 2 ounces of water, and drink it slowly over the course of 30 minutes. But that's the deal here. And all of this, of course, is built upon the foundation that the consistent consumption, regardless of your past history, the consistent consumption of wheat, barley, rye, and oats will complicate tremendously your body's ability to absorb nutrients. So this guy's got to be gluten-free, especially with his history. And then if he gets on, a more rational, dilute dosage schedule, he's going to love the way that he feels. Don, you're the greatest, man. Keep up the good work there in Ohio. Remember, you are the last best hope your friends, family, church members, and community members have to live long and healthy lives. Contest results when we come back. We're giving away an iPad, folks. Get excited. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Dr. Peter Glidden here, October 1st, coming at you live. Now, members of Team Glidden, Longevity's Team Glidden. That's right, Team Glidden. You heard it here first. If you're not a member of Longevity yet, if you haven't seen the light yet, well, it's easy to do. Just go here, fireyourmdnow.com, and click on the Join Longevity button. Follow the bouncing mouse, and life is good. You'll get tons of support, tons of guidance, tons of help. You'll be in an international community of like-minded individuals who get together 4 times a week virtually on the internet live and discuss all things related to holistic health and the facultative breakdown of conventional medicine all around the world. It's a fantastic group of individuals to be aligned with. Now, my longevity team, which is affectionately known as Team Glidden, boy, I like the sound of that, Team Glidden. We had a contest in September, and there were 4 top representatives in Team Glidden in September who won 4 prizes, 4 individual prizes, valued over $300 each. We gave these 4 reps $300 worth of product samples, DVDs, and training materials. Product samples, DVDs, and training materials, because they rose to the top of their game. They enrolled more people than anybody else in Team Glidden. They really stepped up their game. They really produced results and made definite impacts in the lives and pocketbooks of their friends, family members, church members, and community members. And to those people, we give a great big Dr. Glidden thank you. And also, it doesn't hurt to have $300 worth of free stuff coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, the top 4 distributors in the month of September in Team Glidden were Corey Prop from Canada, the Canadian himself, Corey Prop, who I'm going to be seeing, God willing, in a couple of days up in Canada as we're doing a lecture tour through the great province of Alberta. Thursday night, God willing, we will be in Edmonton. Friday night, we will be in Camrose. Saturday in Red Deer, and finishing it out in Sunday in Calgary. Let's give a great big Dr. Glidden round of applause to Corey Prop, and my sound effects are not working, wouldn't you know it. What a time for the sound effects to fail. Ladies and gentlemen, what is Dr. Glidden going to do? He's going to have to get a better tech team. I think I need a better tech team. Let me see if I can do this one different way. Let's try it this way. No, that didn't work either. All right, so we'll just have to pretend we can all hear the sound applause. Let's just pretend we all hear the sound applause. It's the applause sound effects. Corey Prop, Doc Russ Newman, that's Doc Russ Newman, Rhett Hodge, who will never go hungry again, and Joseph Corbin, Rhett Hodge, Doc Russ Newman, and Corey Prop. You get the great big Team Glidden round of applause, plus $300 worth of free stuff coming your way for all of the great work that you did in September, supporting and promoting the finances and the health of total strangers in your world, doing, going above and beyond the call of duty in helping us to spread our message of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition to whomever is wise enough to listen. Now, the second part of the contest, I am going to need help from the audience in dialing in. If you were a business builder with Team Glidden, in September, every time you signed somebody up into the business, every time you brought somebody into the business, you got a point. If you brought them in at the $10 level, you got a point. If you brought them in at the $500 level, you got 6 points. If they set up a auto ship, you got 2 points, and so forth and so on. So business builders accumulated points as they moved down the track. And every point got them a ticket for the draw for an iPad mini, which I am going to give away as soon as we come back. And Dawn from Florida is going to help me draw the winning number. Ooh, I just got shivers. An iPad mini coming up to one lucky member of Team Glidden. Stick around, folks. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Hey, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, October 1st, 2013. Welcome back. If you've been watching the Google Hangout, sorry, we've got some big bad voodoo juju going on with the video feed there. We've had this for a number of weeks now, and we can't seem to get it fixed. You're going to have to bear with us. We're going to bring up a new Google Hangout at the top of the next segment, so you're just going to have to be satisfied with my charming voice for the next 13 minutes and 15 seconds. Now, so here's the deal. If you were a member of Team Glidden, a business builder in Team Glidden, if you were a business builder in Team Glidden in the month of September, every time you invited somebody, you collected so many points. Every time they came in at a certain level, you collected fewer or more points, and depending on whether or not they were on automatic shipment or not, you got extra points. And so you accumulated points the entire month of September, and every point that you got gave you a ticket for a draw for an iPad mini. So some people have 10 tickets, some people have 1, some people have 20, some people have 7, and I have all of the ticket numbers in front of me. They go from 1 to 89. So let me just double check that. From 1 all the way down to 89. That's correct. So I am going to have the assistance of a total stranger, and that would be Dawn from Florida. Hey, Dawn from Florida, are you listening?
Yes, I am.
All right, Dawn, you are elected. Now, in full disclosure, are you a member of Team Glidden?
I am not.
Okay, very good. And we haven't spoken before about this matter, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. So all that I need you to do, Dawn, is pick a number from 1 to 89, and then I'm going to announce the winner talk a little bit about that, and then I'll be back with you to answer your questions. So drum roll, please, Don. A number, if you can be number 1, number 2, number 3, number all the way to whatever, all the way down to 89. So pick a number, please, for the winner of the iPad Mini.
Okay, 5 is a number for Grace, so I'm going to pick 55.
Number 55, says Don from Florida. Oh, my goodness, Don, I'm going to put you back on hold. Number 55 it is. And the drum roll says number 55 is going down the list. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Daniel and Missoon Morneau. Daniel and Missoon Morneau. The last name is spelled M-O-R-N, like Nancy, E-A-U-L-T. Daniel and Missoon Morneau, you are the lucky winners. Let me see if that's the correct last name. Let me just scroll this field. Yes, it is. That's how you pronounce it. Daniel and Missoon Morneau, you are the lucky winners of Team Glidden's iPad Mini for the month of September. Fantastic job, folks. Fantastic job for everybody in Team Glidden. And if you'd like to hear Dr. Glidden live, if you have relatives in the great province of Alberta, Canada, please visit deathbymedicine.ca. Yeah, you heard it correctly, deathbymedicine.ca. If you have friends, family, church members, community members, for goodness sake, I don't care if you even have enemies in Alberta, send them to deathbymedicine.ca, and they can register there for my live events coming up this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the great province of Alberta in Canada. Hopefully we're going to be spreading our message to hundreds of people this coming weekend. Danielle and Missoon, fantastic job. Congratulations. You've got a brand new iPad Mini winging its way to you. I congratulate you and thank you for all of your help. And listen, members of my team, members of Youngevity Nation all around the world are the last best hope that their community members have to live long, healthy, and dare I say it out loud, wealthy lives, because that's what we bring to the table. That's the skill set that we bring to the table. Boilerplate, foundation, medical nutrition, therapeutics, the intention of which are to support and promote your body's ability to strengthen and improve its function. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, and will show you how to make money doing it. This company has created over 200 multi-million-dollar earners, 200 people who have made multiple millions of dollars, helping their friends and family members and church members and community members regain their health and have a whole lot of fun doing it and meet all kinds of really great and fantastic people doing it and change lives doing it. This is what we are all about, inside and out. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what you're missing. Please visit my website, fireyourmdnow.com, and join us. Become a member of Youngevity, and let us change the world together. All right, Dawn from Florida, you are back live on the air. How can I help you today?
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I have a friend. Her name is Frida, and she's been diagnosed with lupus. So I was wondering what you could recommend for her.
Yeah, what part of her body is it showing up in?
Gosh, I haven't talked to her in a while. I really don't know. I just know that she's had it for a long time, and I just touched base with her not too long ago. I guess she still has it, and I couldn't tell you. I know that she was having a hard time walking at one time.
Yeah, lupus it's a big bad voodoo daddy, and I think one of the best webinars I've ever done, and I've done over 100 hours of webinars. I have over 100 hours of archived webinars available right now for people to peruse as part of my monthly subscription service. I did a really good one on lupus. It's right there in the archives if you're a member, and you can join if you're not already. It's only $20 a month. You can cancel at any time. But I'll give you the short version since you helped me out with the draw, right? Okay. I would have given you the short version anyway. So lupus erythematosus is the fancy schmancy doctor word, medical term that's been given to this illness. It's chronic inflammation in connective tissue in the body, and it can show up in virtually anywhere in the body. when people have lupus, they've got chronic pain, chronic inflammation, chronic, they're in pain all of the time, and it's a big bad voodoo daddy, because I don't know if you've ever been in pain a lot or even just a little, but it ain't no fun, especially when pain is caused by chronic inflammation, because that's like, throwing salt into a wound. Now, the MDs, because they have a very peculiar way of looking at the world, and that way is defined as allopathic reductionism. Medical doctors are trained to view the world of the physical body and the anatomy and physiology and pathogenesis of disease through a lens of sorts, which is called allopathic reductionism, and it's based on Newtonian physics. Now, if you didn't know anything about astronomy and you went outside, you could reasonably conclude that it's the sun that moves around the Earth, because son of a gun, it comes up in the east, it goes overhead, and then it sets in the west. And if you were smart enough, you could even calculate where it was going to be tomorrow, and you'd be correct. With the one possible exception that, it's not the sun that moves around the Earth, it's the Earth that revolves around its axis. It just makes the sun appear to move, so you would be 99% correct. You'd even be able to have correct measurements and correct predictions. But your presumption would be totally and absolutely and completely wrong, because the sun doesn't move around the Earth, it's the Earth spinning on its axis. Well, the MD's interpretation of most chronic disease is like that. They're correct in measuring what's going on, but they're incorrect in figuring out what caused it to happen in the first place. So the MDs have ostensibly come late to the party here. So they're not concerned with the weeks, months, years, and decades of chronic inflammation that have been whittling away at this person's health their entire life, which has culminated in the genesis and the presentation of lupus. All that they see is somebody who has full-blown inflammatory disease, and then they draw their blood and they look at their blood, and son of a gun, in the people who they then give the diagnosis lupus to, there's a little antibody in their blood, and that antibody isn't present in the blood of somebody who doesn't have lupus, so therefore it must be the antibody that causes the lupus. And this is what the MDs think. The MDs think that there's an antibody, and there is an antibody in the blood that's associated with lupus, but the MDs believe that it's this antibody which causes the disease. And since MDs are intellectually cowardly, since they all walk in lockstep and they never question their superiors and they never really think it through, and they're all kind of indoctrinated in this one mythical methodology that they're never ever going to depart from, it becomes reality by consensus. So when 100 doctors agree that it's the antibody that causes lupus, it's the antibody that causes lupus. It becomes reality by consensus. Now, our point of view, and by the way, they have no idea how the antibody got there, and they have no idea what to do to fix it. And so what they do is they give drugs which suppress the immune system in order to help the antibody not be so active. And this is nonsense, because the treatments for lupus are so loaded with other side effects that often the side effects are worse than the disease, number one. And number two, they don't even come close to having a curative action on the illness. And, this after hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical insurance premiums that we pay for them over the course of our life. And they give us piss-poor, ineffective treatment strategies which are based on reality by consensus, not reality. So our position on lupus is the chickens coming home to roost. It's chronic low-grade inflammation that has built up on the body for days, weeks, months, and years on a very small, grade, molecular level. It just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until the roof collapses, until it's the last straw that broke the camel's back, and then the body manifests inflammation. Now, the body is smart, and if you've ever seen a dead animal on the side of the road, when you turn the animal upside down after he's been there for a week, there's all kinds of worms and all kinds of things on the underside of that animal eating it up and getting rid of the dead carcass. Nature recycles tissue. Well, it's no different in the human body. So when there's been days, months, weeks, and years of chronic low-grade inflammation that has built up on itself in the body starts to generate an antibody to eat up the old dead disease tissue and get the heck rid of it. From our point of view, the presence of the antibody is a beneficial thing that the body is doing to get rid of old, dead, inflamed tissue. The MDs think the body has created an antibody which is destroying itself and eating itself up. And this is insanity. That you could even think that the human body could do that. Well, I suppose you could genetically engineer somebody to do that if you were smart enough and went to Harvard. But, for all intents and purposes, the human body isn't going to destroy itself. The human body is going to try to fix itself. But the MDs have gotten this completely ass backwards in their theoretical extrapolation of the pathogenesis of the disease. So we think it's caused by consistent consumption over a lifetime of all of the wrong food. So this woman has been eating food that's inappropriate for her body, in which every time she swallows it causes low-grade inflammation, and then her body doesn't have the nutrients it needs in order to put the fires of inflammation out. So there's a forest fire happening in her body that spreads and spreads and gets worse every time she eats, which ultimately has to, stop somewhere, or has to get so bad that it expresses in symptoms, and then we have the birth of lupus. And stick with me, Dawn from Florida. I'll tell you what we do to support and promote the structure and function of connective tissue in the face of an MD diagnosis of lupus when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Don't even think about touching that dial. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Welcoming you back. We're closing up the first hour of October 1st, 2013, and we're talking to Dawn from Florida. Now, Dawn, I tend to go on and on, but, I get a thought and I have to run with it. So did what I said make sense? Do you have any questions about that?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so we believe it's the culmination of chronic, undiagnosed, low-grade inflammation that's finally manifested in symptoms, and then the symptoms are so bad that there's all kinds of inflammatory dead tissue in the body that the body tries to get rid of. And the body builds an antibody to try to suck it up, but the MDs think it's the antibody that causes the disease, and they're wrong. It's that simple. One more reason to fire your MD, okay? All right, so what we do is, number one, you have to stop eating the food that's causing the trouble. You just can't throw gasoline on a fire and hope that it's going to go out. You have to stop doing that. So there are 10 foods that she needs to stop eating, that you need to stop eating, that I need to stop eating, that everybody needs to stop eating. And to get that list for free, please visit my website, fireyourmdnow.com. And as soon as that URL pops up, there's a little box that pops up that asks you if you would like to become a subscriber for free to my newsletter. And if you click yes, then you're automatically given the list of something called Good Food, Bad Food Diet, or a Good Food, Bad Food list, which has a list of the 10 bad foods. So she needs to stop eating those 10 foods immediately, number one. Number two, it would be prudent to give her body the raw materials that it needs in order to optimize its structure and function, help the connective tissue, and put out the fires of inflammation. And the best way to do that, in my professional opinion, is one anti-aging healthy start pack. One anti-aging healthy start pack 2.0, that's the new version, 2.0, per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One bottle of Ultimate Selenium, SELENIUM, one bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. And 3 boxes, believe it or not, of chocolate. 3 boxes of Triple Treat chocolate a month. I know. Bummer, right? Yeah, Dr. Wallach's chocolate is loaded with antioxidants. It's glycemic friendly. It really assists the body in putting out the fires of inflammation. It's an excellent thing to do in this regard. I would have her do that for 8 weeks, for 8 weeks in a row. And then, starting on the 12th week, she can add glucogel. That's GLUCOGEL capsules, glucogel capsules into the program. She can cut down on the chocolate if she wants to. and she can add the glucogel capsules to the program. The capsules are best dosed at 1 capsule per 10 pounds of body weight per month. So if she's 150 pounds, a day, I'm sorry. So if she's 150 pounds, that would be 150 divided by 10 is 15. So she'd need 15 glucogel capsules a day. 15 days times 30 days, or 15 a day times 30 days, that's 450 capsules. So you'd need to figure out how many bottles of glucogel to order each month to hit that number. So it's 1 capsule per 10 pounds per day of the glucogel. I wouldn't start that until the 3rd month. And the diet persists for the rest of her life. This isn't just a therapeutic, let's get health back, then we can eat whatever we want. These foods are bad for the human body, and we need to stop eating them, period. So, clean up the diet. Take the anti-aging healthy pack, selenium, and chocolate for 8 weeks, and then add the glucogel into the bargain. And please tell her that this is not a lupus treatment, that this is a treatment for her system as a holistic unit. And as she's moving forward in her life, once she cleans up her diet and starts to swallow this stuff, she wants to look to see what happens to her body across the board. You know, so in addition to the lupus symptoms, how about her mood and her energy and her sleep and her appetite and her sex drive and her menstrual cycle and everything? So this is a holistic approach, not a reductionistic approach, and we look to see positive changes across the board. Don from Florida, you're the greatest. If you need help ordering this stuff, that's 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. Otherwise, just get with the person that brought you to this radio show, and they can get the stuff for you at the wholesale price. Second hour coming up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now.